I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield.
I'm Kate Walton-Elliott.
And we are here live from CES 2019.
It is the world's biggest consumer electronics show.
And of course, we're here to cover the latest in cleaner, greener, safer and smarter transportation. There's so much for us to cover this year, and we're going to give you a daily roundup from the show floor, giving you a little teaser as what you can expect from us in terms of show coverage in the next couple of months.
It's a little different to last year, where we did nice, long, in-detail, in-depth videos, which you didn't like.
So we've decided to up it this year and change it around a bit, and we're starting with day one, which is a press day.
Yes. Mainly press conferences, entirely press conferences with one exception.
And it means that we don't get to explore the show floor. That will happen on day 3 of the show, although it's technically day 1 of the show. We're going to call it day 3 of the show. Essentially, today is Sunday, and we are going to be here all the way through until Friday. Yeah. All the coverage just for you guys at home. So today, we went to 3 press conferences, and then we had a special treat as well. So where did we go, Kate?
Well, first we saw Schaeffler, who are a Tier 1 parts supplier.
So if you don't know what a Tier 1 parts supplier is, a Tier 1 parts supplier are the people who make the components that go into your car. So you might buy a Ford or a Volvo or an Audi, but the parts inside the cars are made by Tier 1 parts suppliers. So Schaeffler has made lots of parts for lots of different car companies. In fact, it has been responsible for the electric motors, I believe, inside the new Audi e-Tron that's coming to market.
Yes.
So we started with lots of first mile alternative transportation solutions, including something called a bio-hybrid?
Yes, it is a bio-hybrid, which, for those of you who are familiar with it, is quite like a Sinclair C5. Nicer, faster.
And less close to the ground.
Yes, and actually covered, which is also nice.
And one of the challenges that Schaeffler has said is that in the city of the future, we might not be driving as much, we might not be using our cars as we use them today, and Schaeffler envisions a future where we're going to have autonomous vehicles, ride sharing, autonomous pods, robo-taxis,
yes,
and these little bio-hybrid vehicles. And Schaeffler said a lot of people don't want to bicycle because they don't want to get wet, or
it's not safe.
It's not safe, but that doesn't really tie in with some of the studies that I've read.
No.
That say that the reason people don't bicycle is because there isn't enough bicycle paths.
No.
Which is something very different, isn't it?
It is. They seem to be very dependent on the infrastructure being in place for this, but not a lot of talk about how that's going to be improved.
There are some interesting things, though. This Schaeffler bio-hybrid. Now, Schaeffler doesn't make vehicles. It's a parts supplier.
Traditionally not, but they have set up a separate company, effectively, to build the bio-hybrid, but sadly not the autonomous little multimodal delivery vehicle.
No, and they're working with some other companies too. Interestingly, Schaeffler has acquired a couple of companies over the last couple of years.
Yes.
They acquired one to do with production, and they've also acquired a company that does steering wheel-less steering, is how they put it.
Yeah.
There's a company that does steering wheels for cars for people who cannot use a traditional steering wheel.
Yes.
And so they acquired that company, and they're now going to use that technology, which I presume is things like the motor controllers to turn the wheel.
Yeah.
For autonomous vehicles. So that was fun.
It was.
And we left the Schaeffler event feeling like it was a company that really wanted to try and transform the future and have all of these visions for a, quote, potential future. I thought that was very interesting, a potential option. So it was a little bit pie in the sky. The bio-hybrid is coming to market in 2020. We're going to see test prototype vehicles in 2019, in August this year, and then production in Q3 2020.
Q3.
So that's interesting. The bio-hybrid has a range of about 50 kilometers, which is what 31 miles.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
unless you have the cargo version, which has a 100-kilometer range, which is 62 miles. Only has a 250-watt electric motor. If you're not in Europe, you probably don't understand why. But
that is the limit in Europe.
because of pedelec regulations. So in Europe, if you want to have an electric bicycle, you have to have the motor less than 250 watts.
And it can only power it up to, is it 31?
31 kilometers per hour.
Oh, yes, 31 kilometers per hour.
And you have to pedal it, I think.
Yes.
You can't just ride it on the motor alone. It's to do with the regulations around whether it's a moped or whether it's a bicycle. And it's still classed as a bicycle if you do that. From there, though, we went to
Byton,
our good friends at Byton.
who we saw last year when they unveiled the M-Byte concept.
And this year,
They
the M-Byte production vehicle, is that what they were calling it?
They were calling it a production vehicle. They were referring to it as a production vehicle, but they're actually not yet building them.
Right, so Byton's building a factory in China. Obviously, Byton has got a very heavy factory influence in China. They're building a factory in China. They're going to be selling this vehicle to the Chinese market, lots of Chinese investors. It's a strange vehicle, though, because it's
Well, it's a smart device, is what it is.
it's a rich boy's toy.
Well, yes, it is.
There are more touchscreens in that car than I have in the entirety of my house.
Well, that's because one of them is 49 inches wide.
It's a 49-inch touchscreen all the way across the centre of the car. Then there is a 7-inch touchscreen in the steering wheel.
Yes, and an 8-inch touchscreen for the passenger to use in the console.
And then another set of touchscreens in the rear.
Yes.
So, I mean,
And to be fair, you don't have to touch anything. You can just gesture.
they're what they're talking about. Now, Byton is still trying to sell e-mobility as a lifestyle. They're still trying to sell the Byton M-Byte as a vehicle that you use for other things other than just going places, to the point that they've designed the front seats with a really weird quirk.
Oh, I missed this.
They twist.
Oh,
Do you remember? So that you can have conversations with people when the car is not in motion.
yeah, so it's effectively your lounge. It replaces your lounge.
Would you want to sit in your car and have a conversation? I don't know. Would you want to sit in a car and have a conversation with people? That's a bit weird.
It is a bit
It is a
weird.
bit weird. After this, we went to Audi,
Yes.
but it wasn't a press conference. And this is actually embargoed. At the time we're recording it, we're on an embargo, but it's nice and quiet in here, so we can talk about it. It's being published at 9 a.m. tomorrow, which is when the embargo lifts.
Yeah.
So Audi has been working with Disney on a collaboration concerning a kind of a fusion between traveling in a car and experiencing virtual reality.
So what do you do in a car if the car is doing all of your driving?
Or more to the fact, what do you do if you're a kid in a car and you're bored on a long distance trip? I mean, I can see this working for kids.
Yes.
So what Audi did was we went up to the Vegas Speedway, is that what they call it?
Speed Vegas.
Speed Vegas, and we were driven around the track in an Audi e-Tron electric car. Woo!
We had what is my first ride in an Audi electric.
My first ride in an Audi e-Tron electric car as well. We weren't allowed to see anything of the interior of the car because we were wearing virtual reality Oculus Rift headsets and playing a game with Rocket Raccoon.
Yes, we were playing Rocket's Rescue Run.
Rocket's Rescue Run. It was fun,
It was enormous fun.
and we made a video about it, which is coming to the channel shortly, but honestly, when we put the headsets on and we were just playing the game, and they put this headset on you and you had a single button remote control which you had to press, and in order to win the game, you had to fire at meteors and enemy
rocket
ships,
ships.
and Iron Man came along to help too.
I fired at him quite a lot because I love gaming, but I'm a terrible gamer.
And of course, if you're a Marvel fan and you've watched the Marvel Universe films, it's a bit of a spoiler because Iron Man is still alive, and so was Rocket.
Yeah, possibly we should have said spoilers at the beginning.
So Thanos didn't win. All in all, though, it was a bit weird to be playing a computer game while driving around a track in a car. We didn't think we were going that fast until we were doing our end pieces to camera, and we saw one of the e-Trons zip past us on the racecourse. Now, it was dark outside,
Yep.
and it was a very immersive experience, but I don't think I would want to have this in my car of the future, but where I could see it working is on airplane travel. So
Yeah, you're
we'll
sat
see
there
what
for a
happens
while.
there. And then finally, we are here.
At NVIDIA.
Now, NVIDIA last year was one of our highlights, wasn't it?
It absolutely was.
Why?
They had some amazing autonomous vehicle technology which they were showing off last year.
Their Pegasus boards and the artificial autonomous driving intelligence training system that ran the chips emulated
In a VR environment for the chips to play in and learn to drive.
without ever going on the road. It was kind of it was like a Russian doll of autonomous vehicle VR simulation designed to train the artificial intelligence in autonomous cars so that they would be safe on the road without hurting anybody, and that was brilliant.
It was amazing.
So we turned up this year thinking, yay, more autonomous car stuff. And as soon as we got in there and the event started, we were told that no, it was going to be focused entirely on gaming.
Which we would be in there watching, but really it doesn't meet what we need to talk about.
Well, I mean, you and I love that. We could have
Yeah.
stayed in and watched the entire event and we would have been happy. But we've been working pretty hard non-stop for the last couple of days, and we are in a point now where we want to save our energy, because NVIDIA has told us there's going to be autonomous car stuff coming later in the show, and we have to go and visit their booth.
yes.
So that is the wrap up for today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I've enjoyed myself.
I have enjoyed myself as well.
Thanks to the fantastic Brandon too for filming this. He's running around with extra cameras right now, and it's great to have 2 cameras on set. It's great to have another great camera person on board, and thank you to Erin as well, who's doubling as boom mic op today. She's been our nanny.
She has.
She's made sure that we've got to places on time. She's made sure that we've transferred video. She's done all the fantastic things. So thank you very much to Erin as well. And if you liked what you saw here, we've got some great more content coming for you in the coming week. And if you'd like to support us, there are several ways that you can do that. Number 1, you can go to Patreon. We always like our Patreon subscribers or patrons. You can support us there by making a monthly donation. You can also go to Ko-fi. Yep, we have a Ko-fi page. Anything you donate to us through Ko-fi goes directly to these guys to pay for coffee, food while we're on the road. And of course you can watch the videos as well, and the ads that come with these videos. That's really all I have to say. Let's go home now. We'll edit this video up and push it up in the morning. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep evolving.